Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys is doing absolutely great. Today, I want to share with you how to make this
Modern day flyer design.
Before jumping into this, let's check the intro.
Diko graphic skills with creativity.
Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified when we post new videos.
So without wasting much of our time, guys, let's dive into today's tutorial. So without wasting much of our time, let me show you step by step how you can come up with something amazing, appealing like this. The first thing to do is to determine the background size at our size. Do say, so we have on our width, we have 1121, 1121. Then on our height, we have 1280. So we have something of this nature. So the next thing that we have, we go to the color. Let's go to the color. Then on our color side, we'll have this. We select this kind of color. Then we'll go back to our gallery where we have something of this. We have something of this nature. So let's go to Pinterest. So we have this. We have this. Very cool. So we cut it out exactly like this, and we have it spread to this area. Now we are going to use our color picker. We use our color picker to cut out the parts. So we look at it whether it has been cut out. So after that, we are going to spread this across. We'll spread it across very well, exactly like this. So after spreading it out, the next thing to do is to go to opacity, have it being reduced to something like let's say 5 or 6. Let's say something like 5 is okay. Then or 6, 7. So I think 6. Then have it lock. So this is where the work started. Go to your shape and we'll have this circle shape. Reduce the opacity to 0. Then your stroke should be something like a 60. Now that you have your stroke to be 60, you can reduce after position it where. So we have something of this nature, exactly like this. Now that we have this, the next thing to do is to make sure that it's centralized. After that, we go to our shape and we have it cut out. But before we cut it out, we are going to our gallery. Most especially here. Sorry, this is the picture that we want to use, but I've actually removed the background. So this is the picture we're going to use. So I'm going to position this here. So why do I brought this one forward? I brought it forward because I want to use it to measure where to cut. So after that, you can shift this to come down a bit. Let it come down a bit. I think it's actually cool like this. Very cool. So the next thing that we're going to do after having this, we are going to turn on our mask. So we tap on this. Let's use mask. Mask will have been better. Then we have something of this nature, something like this. Then we cut this as well. Turn on your grid to look at it properly. So now I believe it's actually okay like this. So actually okay. So let's shift this a bit. Since this doesn't have anything to be like this, then we have something like this of this nature here. So everything is actually cool. You can cut it out exactly like this. Now we have this. So this one is not necessary anymore. So we are going to delete it. Then we go back to our shape. We're not reselecting. So we go back to, we have this lock. So we go back to our shape. We need an arrow. So we need head of this arrow. So we are going to increase the size. So let's click OK. Then let's give it a black color for us to be able to see it properly. So let's give it a black color. So we are going to rotate. We rotate it. So after rotating, let's just position it very well for us to see. So we can reduce the size. This is where the work started, which we need to be very careful. So I believe everything is actually rhyme. We can turn on the opacity for us to be able to see clearly. So after that, the next thing to do, we can now click on our mask, turn on the mask, enable it and click on movement one arrow. So this one will give us an avenue to adjust this properly for it to be able to perform its own specific function. So now we can now move it. So let's move it. Then we click out. Let's move it to this area. So I believe this is actually work. So we can cut it out. So now we look at it critically. Does it really work? So after that, we go to our opacity. Then we increase the opacity for us to see clearly. So after that, we can now click on zoom for us to zoom it out, see where the error is. Then we try at least to adjust a bit. Very cool, very cool. So we can still move it up, let it calm down. Very good. Move it up a bit. Very good. So now that we have everything being set, we already move everything to this level. Then the next thing that we're going to do, after selecting this, the next thing that we're going to do is to tap on this. Then we are going to merge the two together. So we merge this particular shape and this together. After merging together, the next thing that we're going to do is to apply color to it. So we are going to apply this particular color. So let's have it being moved like this. Now we have this. This is actually good. So the next thing that we're going to do is to go to our shape again. Then we go to the color. So where we select this particular color, we have it being cropped exactly under this. Exactly, it shouldn't too much. It won't exceed this place too much. So we have something like this. Then we are going to crop it and let it be under this particular area. So very good. So this is actually cool. Now we are going to move it closer a bit. Then we turn the ground where the mesh to a floor, the way we are going to do it. So now this is actually cool. Then the next thing we are going to do right now, we don't need to stress ourselves. We need to just copy this. Then we go to the color area where we select this color. We are going to look at the color that we can choose. So let's look at the color we can choose at this area. So let's look at this color. Let's choose this. Very good. So now that we choose this color, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to position two here. We'll position it very cool. So the one that is there, we are going to cut it later. We'll have it cut later. So we'll go to the mask, then we turn on our mask. So it won't be too much, or to be on safer side, and for us to have a smooth work, what we are going to do is to just bring it in exactly like this. After bringing it in, then I'm going to do it once and for all. So we are going to crop another shape exactly like this. Then after cropping the shape, you can see bring it in. Then we are going to position it here and move it exactly like this. So let it be too tiny small. So now we have this. what we're going to do is to do a kind of adjustment at this level. So we are going to move this in a bit. We'll move it in a bit. Very good. So the next thing we are going to do is to merge the two together. It's automatically cut out the inner. Now we are going to enable the erase color. You can see we enable the erase color. The erase color will be able to give us what we actually want. So I'm not copy anything. I'm not copy. So the erase color will have give us what we actually wanted. So we'll go to erase color now. So we have erased everything. So now we can now position it the way we want. So we tap on it, then we use our movement arrow to position it well. So let's use it, position it well. So we can re-tap on it, tap on it like this, move it closer a bit. Then we are going to copy. After copy, then we are going to do the same thing by reposition here. So we position here, we position here. So let it closer a bit and make sure it's uniform. So we are going to adjust the second one. We just need to be very careful. We adjust. So we adjust the first one to, this first one. Just make it closer a bit. Give it a breathing space. So this is actually cool. So after getting this, we are just make sure that everything is actually aligned. Now crop the shape again like this, the one that will be at the bottom here, to make the work okay. So we are going to position that here, but this one will determine the shape. So now we have this, so it could be around here. Now we'll go to the color. While we turn on our color, we'll go to the grid, then we have this particular shape. Now we are moving closer. So the next thing that we're going to do, we have another shape being grabbed. Then we go to the color, we give it this particular color. That should be around this particular place, which you can see should be around here. So very good. So now we've positioned this here. The next thing that we're going to do, we need to import this. So we need it quickly. So let's go to what's our business document. So let's see whether we can actually see what we want here. We don't see it. So what's that doc? So let's check here whether we can see what we actually wanted. So when we see it, so I don't think it will be here. So but let's check. So it's here, fine. So now we've seen what we actually wanted. So I'm going to give it a color. So we have give it a color. So that's who's going to be around here. So I will crop it, then I will bring it here. Very cool. Then the next thing I can do to make it obvious, I will go to where the stroke is. I need to stroke it. Shadow, stroke. Can now stroke it. Yeah, very good. So increase the stroke and you increase it a bit, something like 2. Then we go to where we have stroke again. We go to color picker. We see whether we can pick a green color. So we see where to print it. Then we reduce it to 1 so that it's just obvious, for obvious sake. Now we have everything being plumb here. So the next thing that we're going to do is to put on all the write-off. So let me put the shape that we're supposed to be around here, crop it, let it be like this. Then we go to the color. At this color junction, we apply this. So here we are going to apply this. So we have something like this. Sorry, have something like this. Very good. Then we are going to exchange it like this. So good. So now we are going to crop and position it here. So the next thing that we're going to do is to reduce this a bit for us to be able to have a better result. So we manage this one very well and we put it inside. Let it go inside. So now we have this. So the next thing that we're going to do after having this, we start with our write-up. So we have happy. We have happy. Now we'll go to our shape, our font. Then we choose Archival font. Archival font. So we reduce the size, have it positioned inside. So after position inside, we can now increase, reposition very well. Now everything is actually cool. So after position, we can now give it a color. Let's just give it a white color. White color should shown. So we go back again to our text area where we have mothers. Mothers. So we'll go to the font and we have a silver font. Silver font, which is going to be positioned under here. We can increase the size. After increasing the size, we can now reduce it back, but we'll make sure that everything is actually aligned. So let's have something like this. The next thing that we're going to do before that, we already have this. We'll see what we're going to do next. So we have this, so we copy. After that, we have day. You can see. Then we look at the day should be in line with this. So let's give it a bold. Then we space it a bit. Let's space it a little. So if it doesn't work, we can now use other font again. So let's go to the size and increase. So we increase the size, and when you look at it, this will be actually what, too much. So what we're going to do next is to look for other fonts. So we are going to use the font that we use at the top, so which is a very somehow flat, which is Archival. Can Archival work with it? So let's look at Archival font or Valor font, Archival font. So now getting the Archival font, the space in between should be reduced, and we're going to reduce the entire thing. So after that, we change the whole thing. The model should be changed, the font should be changed, where we have models. That is the ethnocentric font. So we use it to write models. So let's reduce, position it well. So now after getting that, we'll put it around there. So we'll now see whether we can use let's reduce it a bit to 26. Very good. 26, very good. 26. So now that we have this, let there be space in between, and we give it a color immediately. So we assign a color. So here under the day, so we can just go to the same font, use ethnocentric font again, where we have this. So, and you should be able to go along with it. So can this be okay? Okay. So the next thing to do is to change this particular font to this. We change the font immediately to this. So we are going to increase the size very well, and let it be aligned. So now this is cool. So we shift it up a bit. It's actually cool like this. Then after that, let it calm down a bit. After that, we assign the color that we want to use. So let's give it a breathing space by making it calm down a bit. Then we'll go to the model. We'll make it calm down a bit. We'll make the model calm down. Very good. But there shouldn't be unnecessary space too. Now this is actually okay. Now the next thing that we're going to do, sorry, the next thing that we're going to do is to copy the happy. Then we have something like a celebration, 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 celebration. So we have something like this, and this is going to be positioned here. Very cool. Then we reduce the size to something like 40, something like 45 or 44. So this is cool, and this should be around here. So we'll move it a bit, and this is cool. So the next thing that we're going to do now, this particular shape, we are going to copy. We are going to copy it. Then we edit. Sorry, we edit it where we have today's date, which is today's date, which is 8. We have 8 of May. We have 8th of May, exactly like this. Then there should be a space in between. There should be a space in between. Then there should be a relationship. Let it just be together. Then let it be aligned. Now we are going to reduce the size, but let it be closer to this particular area. After closer, then the space should be, then after that we are still going to reduce more. The next thing is to go to the color, just give it a white color, position it here. The space in between it, sorry, the space in between it should be, now position it, let it sit properly. Now this one is actually cool, exactly like this. Now the next thing that we're going to do is to go to our write up again from the final part. Then we paste what we want to write about the mothers not move to boundary and so on. So after that we reduce the size, and we position it into 3 line, exactly like this. Then we use this as an alignment where we're going to reduce the size a bit. Reduce the size exactly like this. Then we go to the color and we make the color black color to be dark by click on plus sign and move this towards the edge. Now you can see and read what was written, and we're going to maintain the font. Now you can see and read everything. So the last final part is to put my own wish there. So just say Diko. You can see Diko graphics, Diko graphics, Diko graphics wishes all mothers a memorable happy mothers day. So this is actually okay. We can now move this and position it here, but we have it to be reduced a bit and give a white color for it to be able to show. So we have something like Let's use something like 15. So the 15, say 15 should be okay. So we can now increase. So this is actually okay. So we'll go to the board and board it. We'll board it and position it well. Let this be bold as well. So now when you look at it, everything is actually plumb. This is just a simple way on how we can come up with this particular design. Now to put a finishing touch, you can go to your shape exactly like this, and you have this particular shape being cropped like this. So after cropping it, go to the color and you give it a black color. Now back to the shadow, allow the shadow to come in, spread the shadow to something like 20, offset to be 4, and offset y to be 4, and offset x to be something like 12 or 8 or 7. After that, you back to the plus sign and you reduce it to something like this. The next thing you are going to do, back to your shape and you turn on your opacity. You turn on your color to be 0. After that, you can still come here under this. Go to where you edit. Then you go to the color, turn it to 0 as you did. Then your opacity, let's see whether you turn the opacity to be 0. Then we'll go here and turn on your opacity physically to be 0. Now this is cool. You can now reduce the size. Go to the shadow where you apply the shadow. The blur reduce it very well. Click on plus sign and reduce as well. Then you can make this to be on a straight line by crop it in like this. Now that you've done that, the next thing you are going to do is to reduce and have it positioned under the leg of the mother. So you have it positioned and you are going to send it to the back. Send it to the back, and when you send it to the back, you adjust it very well to make it real. So you can see, and you make it to be on one line. Sorry. So you can have everything like this being locked. You can lock it for you to be able to have an access to this. So good. So now let it calm down. Let it come here a bit. So, and this is actually cool. So we are going to do the same thing. Copy it exactly like this, and we have to put it under the leg of the kids too. So we have it come down exactly like this, and we have it being rotated to this side exactly like this, exactly like this. So now when you look at it, everything is actually plumb, but there should be a little distances between them in terms of a shadow. So that is the one I'm going to adjust now. So I'm adjusting this, then let it come down a bit. So I will reposition it here. Very good. Then let it come down. Come around here. Very good. So now I'm sending this to the back as well. Very good. So the one with the mother has to be moved to the back as well. Very good. So as you can see, this is actually plumb. So let's look at this. This should be, sorry, the message should be, celebration should be hold. So we have this, and this should be tiny and come down. Come down. Very good. So when you look at it, this is actually cool. So we can now reduce the shadow if we actually want it for the boy. So reduce it, then come here and reduce it too. So this is actually wrong, as you can see. So this is just a simple way how you can make a Mother Day flyer on your Android smartphone using your Pixellab. I hope we all learned something from here. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Have it safe and don't forget your dimension to be in Ultra. Your format should be in PNG. Thanks for watching once again. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for your support. God bless you.